So you're a smart, kind, emotionally available guy, but dating through dating apps is making you feel invisible to the women that you'd like to attract. So many good men get overlooked on dating apps, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's simply that dating apps are designed for first impressions, not depth. And when you add that to the fact that 2/3 of the people on apps are men, and that everybody's got the curated photos, everybody's got the cleverly written prompts, it's actually really hard to stand out and represent what a great guy you are and how much you have to offer. Dating apps often also work by filtering, which means a pretty arbitrary thing like being 1 year over someone's desired age range or 1 inch shorter in height can mean you're screened out and you're not even seeing potentially great matches. Women who in the real world, if they got to vibe with your calm presence, your confidence, your great conversation skills, the fact you are hilarious, would really, really like you. To unplug from this, we need to shift your focus away from apps and towards the real world. You're going to get far more opportunities. More of those opportunities are going to turn into dates. And you'll also meet women you're more excited about and you connect with more too. All round, it's going to feel like a much more rewarding experience. However, there is a little catch. It takes time, it takes effort, and it also takes courage because you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone, shake up your routine, and yes, start conversations with women who you don't know. When you first start looking into real-world dating, the first question you might ask is, so where do I go? Actually, familiarity is one of the best ways to build attraction, and simply by showing up in real-world places, you're going to do a lot more to increase your chances of meeting someone great. I work with women too, and probably the biggest question they also ask me is, where are these guys? Where are they hiding? At the moment, if you're stuck in a routine, you're just not going to be that visible to the women that you'd like to attract. In terms of where to spend your time, let me give you a few examples of where clients I've worked with recently have met their girlfriends. One went to a social mixer at his old college. Another one turned up for speed dating and, very clever strategy, asked a woman for her phone number then and there. Another one met a woman in a Pilates class. The thing that all these men had in common is they did something that was outside their normal routine. They physically showed up and they went somewhere where they think about it and they thought, hang on, this is probably where the highly invested, engaged, high quality women I want to date are hanging out. And none of these guys were dating coaches or pickup gurus. They were normal men, and the only change they made was where they spent their time. When you see a woman that you want to talk to, you may have some concerns. You may feel like, am I intruding on her to start talking to her? Is this going to make her feel uncomfortable? Now, this is coming from a good place. You're a considerate guy. And the fact that you're being so considerate also makes me think that largely you're not the creepy guy who's ever going to make her feel uncomfortable. However, right now you're looking at the situation in a very binary way. It's either say nothing, be underneath the radar, and she's not going to notice you, but also she's not going to get offended, or say something to her and ruin her day. Instead, I want you to focus on the fact you are a great quality guy. You have so much to offer to the women that you connect with. Instead of seeing you talking to her as a value takeaway from her day, you need to start seeing yourself as a major value add. Even if she's got a boyfriend, even if that conversation goes nowhere, you can still have a really enjoyable social conversation that boosts both your confidences and makes you feel better for the rest of the day. So it's really important that you step outside that mindset of I am intruding, and instead you create the opportunity, you start the chat, and then you just trust yourself that if she gives you any social cue that she doesn't want to talk to you, you'll get out of there because you are a socially switched on guy. But unless you make the first move, she is never going to realize that you exist. Something that I really encourage on all of my dating coaching programs is to develop wingman relationships. It is tough out there if you're operating solo. And look, okay, maybe in our 20s we have like our friends from college and we have a bit more of a set up, ready-made social life. Often as we age into 30s, 40s, 50s, that ready-made social life falls away because people get coupled up, friends move on, commitments change, and you may find actually that you're like the last single man left standing. If so, a fantastic side mission for you to go on is to find a wingman who is in the same stage of life as you are, who can be your buddy to go out with. If you're out with coupled up friends, well, they may want to meet you for a coffee when it would be better for you guys to go to that cool bar that people go to for after work drinks. And also, if you're catching up with a friend, it can feel like a conflict of interest to just go and start talking to that random woman that you see along the way. Also, if you have a side mission of looking for a wingman, if you go to an event and it's all other men, it stops feeling like such a waste of your time and it can start to feel like a new social opportunity for you to grow. Look, I can totally get it that you feel right now that you're not being seen by dating apps. But the good news is they are not the only channel to meet people. However, as I said, you're going to need that magic combination of being willing to get outside of your comfort zone, to shake up your habits, and actually just to be courageous, to put yourself out there and talk to women in the real world. If you do, the results are going to be incredible. It's what I love coaching men like you to do. So don't get too frustrated by the apps. If anything, put them down for a little bit and instead think about how you can reinvest in real world connections with women.